Anytime I get a new camera, I feel like there is this honeymoon period where I just absolutely love using my new piece of equipment. But eventually, after a few weeks of usage, or even a few months in some cases, I then find some flaws about the camera or lens or whatever it is that I'm using, and I eventually start to not dislike it, but lose a bit of interest. It's sort of like I just realised that the camera that I'm using isn't the perfect camera that I once thought. It's happened with every single camera I've owned, and I have bought and sold many cameras, sometimes regretting the selling part after realising I didn't appreciate the equipment anywhere near as much in the time that I owned it. This is the case with my old Mamiya 645 and my old Fujifilm X Pro 3. I miss both of these cameras a lot and I would love to get them both again, but at the same time it's not something that I can afford. And even in a way, I miss my Pentax 6.7 as well, even though I did constantly complain about that camera. And you may be wondering why I'm saying this in a video about the Nikon ZF. And no, surprisingly, it's not because I'm selling the camera. It's just kind of an anomaly. After owning any other camera for 8 months, almost 9 months, I would start to see the flaws about the camera and just find things that I dislike. Whether that be the autofocus, lens choices, just some issues that I found with the camera, or even just a quirk that the camera has. But I haven't had any of this with the Nikon ZF just yet. Even in my Nikon ZF review where I mentioned my likes and my dislikes, I said that the dislikes weren't even really dislikes, they were just things that I needed to talk about. Literally just noteworthy things that you can fix or solve in just a few minutes. Things such as the ISO settings, which everyone knows the Nikon ZF has weird ISO settings, but they've actually just completely fixed it in the new firmware update. Or the IBIS rattle, which is a non-issue, it's just unlike any other camera that I've used. Apparently some other cameras are like it as well, but there are literally no reported issues where the IBIS has, gone wrong. Or even the lack of grip, which is admittedly a weird choice on behalf of Nikon, but it's not something that you can't fix. A grip really doesn't cost much money, and most grips out there add an extended base plate to your camera which just protects it from scratches. But this camera still just feels new to me in the best way possible, and every time I see it or pick it up, it feels fresh and just makes me want to shoot. The weight and sturdiness of this camera is a really nice change of pace. It doesn't feel too heavy, but it's definitely got enough weight to it to where it feels good and it feels like it will last a lifetime. But your neck's not going to get strained or break or anything like that just from having this camera around the strap. This camera sort of has the same feeling as older film cameras. I've used quite a few, and this camera is as close as it's come to getting a digital camera to feel like a film camera. Apart from when I'm using the ZF, it doesn't feel like I'm entirely shooting film, as I don't have to worry about a limited number of shots, and I also get to use one of the best autofocus systems I have ever seen. It's just getting the best of both worlds. The ZF has just all around surprised me. I thought I would like it, but I had the fear of the styling being a bit of a gimmick. And while the digital aperture screen is a bit of a gimmick, the rest of the camera has been crafted with purpose. Everything about this camera just feels right, from the dials to the buttons to the switches that you flip to the faux leather that is on the camera. At least I think it's faux leather, it could be real leather, but whatever it is, everything about it just feels right. Apart from the 40mm lens that it came with, I was just really not a fan of that focal length. The lens itself was okay, but I actually sold it recently. But when it comes to the actual camera itself, it's just been crafted to perfection and is a masterpiece. But speaking of lenses and styling, I have recently gotten a new lens for this system. It's the 35mm f1.4 by Nikon, and I really enjoyed using it. I was a bit worried about how the retro body would look with the modern looking lens, but that fear was completely unfounded. The pairing looks great together, admittedly not as cohesive as the 28mm f2.8 special edition lens. That pairing just looks perfect, but it still looks alright and makes up for the mismatch in styling with incredibly good performance. This is the first 35mm f1.4 lens I've owned, and I'm more than pleased with it. I'm also really excited to get some more lenses in the future for this camera. And as time has gone on with using the ZF, the more I have felt that I'm not using it to its full potential. This camera is just packed with features, and I would like to dive deeper into the menus, even with how messy they can feel sometimes. There's just so much jammed into this camera that I feel like the majority of what's available is just being completely unused. Take the video capabilities for example. This camera is surprisingly a powerhouse for video, and I'm even using it to record myself right now. It's even better than my dedicated video camera, which is currently just sat on the shelf, and I feel like with how good this looks right now, it might have to stay there and collect some dust. But overall, this camera has just surprised me and passed my expectations in every way. But I feel bad about owning one since I'm just a hobby photographer who likes to make silly videos for YouTube. Yet I own a piece of equipment that is more than capable to be a workhorse and primary camera, and could even kickstart someone's career. Yet I'm using it to just take photos of my friends, family, and my surroundings. It's probably the best camera that I've ever used, and I think it's tied with being my favourite camera I've owned, along with the Fujifilm GFX 50S. Just talking about this camera and seeing it in front of me is making me want to go out and shoot, so I think I'll actually go and do that now. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.